Hello from Chez Moi. It is May the 11th, about 11:30 in the morning. It's the day after Mother's Day. I meant to do one yesterday, but I was a slug, so what are you gonna do? Anyway, here's an update from mid-May. It's a little windy, so I'll try to speak up, but that's been the lot recently. Lots of wind and unseasonably cold temperatures to the point where I had to bring my squash in from being hardened off, but we're gonna start it back out today. It's supposed to get up into the high 60s after this wind dies down, and so after that it should be in the 80s and lots of spring. So I pruned a lot of the Sweet William to leave just the colors I really enjoy, the really dark reds and variegated purples, and I took those and made a bouquet for the mothers in my neighborhood. But we see that the daisies are getting heads on them, and the yellow flowers of coreopsis are starting to bloom. Let's take a look. We still have some blossoms coming out on the lemon trees. We also have a lot more little baby lemons starting. Let's see if I go over here. Baby lemons. Let's see. Coreopsis. My oregano's gonna start soon. So some of my marigolds are starting to bloom. This poor rose, it's being eaten alive by something and still trying to bloom. I am thinking, I'm not sure what kind of damage that is. I'll spray it with something today. Sagebush is looking really nice. I'm letting these Thai basil bloom. It's been a while since we've had a rain. You see that one's looking kind of thirsty. So I really need to get out here and do my drip irrigation. Not a whole lot going on by the neighbors. Muscadines blooming, columbine going to seed. Still some nice Sweet William. My tomatoes are looking pretty good. They're finally starting to take off. As I said, we've had a lot of cold snaps, so they're not as big as I normally have them this time of year. Usually they're overtopping the marigolds by now, but oh well. I'm trying my hand at some ginger in containers. You see it got a little burned, I think, from the freeze, but hopefully it'll be okay. These are just leftover peppers that I'm probably going to put in the compost bin soon. I know I keep saying this like every single video, but I really do think I need to harvest my garlic soon. They keep saying these soft necks need to start flopping over the tops. So they're getting to the point where we've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3 yellow leaves out of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So a third of the way yellowed? I don't know. My peppers seem to be doing okay. Perhaps some of those colder temperatures might have stunted the growth of some of these that have started, or some of these blossoms, but I think it'll be all right. Same with the eggplant. I don't know what's going on here. This blossom. It's got looks like it might have actually gotten fertilized. We'll see. I had something going on. You might notice I took off several of the bottom leaves. I think it was slugs. Could have been flea beetles. I'm not sure. This one still seems to be kind of plagued by it, along with something new and maybe fungal. So yeah, we're gonna spray those today too. The plants seem to be oh yeah, there's something over there. Looks fungal. When you have that kind of yellow lesion surrounded by black like that, I think I'm gonna take off those leaves and spray these plants so it doesn't go too much further. Peppers are so much easier. As you see, I'm finally getting some shoots on my peas. So these are green runner beans, I think they are. But anyway, I'm probably gonna pick them green for stir fries and whatnot. This is perhaps my best year ever of strawberries. There might actually be enough here that the chipmunks and I both get some. You see, we're starting to actually get them green. I need to pick them up so they don't rot while they're on the ground. So maybe that'll also be something. You might notice amongst this lettuce, which is doing really nice because of all these cooler temperatures, that I also have a little bit of dill on a pine tree. So I'm gonna let that dill do its thing, and maybe it'll spread. I wouldn't mind that. We notice I didn't get all the balloon flowers, but that's okay. It'll look nice. Nasturtiums are looking good. I don't really see, in between the rows here, I planted some okra. Oh goodness, 2 weeks ago, it was already sprouting. So I would have thought I'd start seeing some baby okra by now, but it was kind of old seed, so we may not have okra this year, which I can live with. We'll just make this into a pretty flower garden and maybe put some squash down here at the edges where it gets the most sun. Side garden, doing okay. I need to really transplant those impatiens into larger pots. A squirrel or something keeps knocking them over. And again, everything's just getting a little bit dry. I need to put my drip irrigation in. We see that I've been regularly turning my window baskets. Some of those ferns just in the window baskets over here. Let me see if I can get to one of the dead ones. Like that one. Some of these may not come back. But that's okay because I have plenty of ferns to put back there. And I'll have some impatiens, so doing something with the window boxes is going to be my next plan. And again, drip irrigation because everything's looking kind of thirsty. These Fatsia, after this growth dies down, this new growth, they're probably going to droop a little bit. But I still probably do need to plan to prune them back because they're getting a little bit big and I don't want them to overtop the house. Yeah, see, we had a lot of wind. My old shiitake logs seem to have only put out 2 mushrooms. I don't think, can we get back there? Yeah. My old shiitake logs seem to have only put out 2 mushrooms. I wish you could feel it, but they're really squishy. There's not a whole lot of nutrients in there left. So that was probably the best it could do. These new shiitake logs, I mean, it looks like the mycelium's gotten all the way through it. I'm hoping that maybe soon in the season. Same with these others. I'm seeing really good mycelial growth, but I'm not really seeing any mushrooms yet, but that's okay. Like I said, it's a long-term project. And these are a good 6 feet tall, so our pruning is probably not untoward. All right, hydrangeas are blooming nicely. I think, oh look, we're starting to get some nice big blooms. You might recall that I put some leftover citrus spike pellets near the roots this past fall, here for the hydrangeas and for this camellia. So that might be responsible for the increased blooms, that and the cooler temperatures. Here is some work in progress. Oh, got a nice little foxglove starting. But you might recall that before, this was all ivy, and now it is not. So that is the plan, is to at least clear a nice 5 to 6 foot wide path all the way down the rocks and around that big oak tree down by where I park. I'm probably going to leave the ivy on the slope just to hold it until I can figure out what I want there. But I'm going to take out a lot of this little brushy stuff and just kind of leave this big tree and eventually pick up all the ivy that's back there. You see my brush pile has grown commensurately. I need to start transplanting again these impatiens because the ones in these smaller pots just can't retain enough water, but the larger pots can. So I may do a mix and match of some. See, there's another small one over there that's getting really creepy. But the gnome garden is looking good. Here we have a new addition to the gnome garden. I've been down for a while. This is a gnome I painted myself during one of the quarantine days. You might have remembered it. And I put a whole ton of epoxy under it. And my gauge for whether it is fading, so if the colors are blurring, and it looks like they're not. Oh, yay. So I have about 3 more of those that I'm going to paint in different colors and just plant around. I think it'll be a cool little garden. All right, so here's what's really new. Now this is not terribly exciting because it's just a makeshift with pallets, but it does serve the purpose to kind of frame the opening to give me a better vision of what I want there. And these are about 4 feet high, so imagine it twice as high. So that's going to really block the view and give you a surprise for when you come in. And the door is going to be right here, not where I had to put it here, but again, it's just a stopgap to keep the chickens in. So you'll come down, and this will be your view. Through the tree. Ta-da! All right. Let's go down and visit the chickens. Which I should mention, last Friday, there was a fox the size of like a German Shepherd out here trying to get around the chicken pen. Oh, please note that I also got a nice serving of mushrooms. I had a oyster mushroom and shiitake mushroom burger yesterday. Here's the chickens. I don't know what they're crowing about because I just gave them, as you see, the pizza bones and all the leftover flowers from the bouquet. And I promise we will come out later. Let's take a look at the hives. As you notice, well, maybe you can't notice from that distance. Let's zoom in. As you may notice, they're doing very, very well. If anything, Tamiris might have outstripped Hygeia in growth, but I've been giving her more drawn comb than Hygeia, so they have a little bit more to do. Next time, if I put another box on, which I might be going to, then I will try to even it out completely. The other thing is, you might notice over there, see if I can focus in on Tamiris, there's some bees going up into what looks under the outer cover, the telescoping outer cover, and that is the telescoping outer cover that got some carpenter bee damage to it. So I wonder if there's not a top entrance to that inner cover, or outer cover, sorry. But I do plan to do a hive inspection soon, as soon as it gets over 75, because only a week ago, I guess, I put a box in, but I kind of want to see what they're doing, drawing, you know, how the honey flow is going, because it smells like honey out here. The tulip poplars are blooming, and I swear you could go into a diabetic coma just breathing. It just smells so delicious. So I'm expecting a pretty good honey crop. Anyway, the biggest change since last time is I got my fence installed. Hooray! Thank you for Patriot Services, the handyman who came and installed this fence. Cost me just under $1,000. Ta-da! And it just goes between the neighbor's fence and my house. And so that's the path that the children already wore between me and the neighbor's house. And you might notice I've been pulling up some more ivy, because the ivy used to go all up under the neighbor's tree. Now it's back here. And in fact, it's in that pile right there. Chickens have been picking through it. So the plan over the course of the next whenever, let's see if I can get to lighten up, is to level this path, get rid of all of this ivy, cut down a lot of these brushy trees, the little trees, including that kind of sticky dogwood. It's just not, it's under this water oak. It's never going to get enough sun, so I'm just going to re-landscape it and kind of thin out some of this brush. Make myself a nice pathway, and then I'm probably going to have to cut some stairs down here, level out this platform. I want to put up like a retaining wall, just like the ones over there. Just get a little brick retaining wall to go around here, and it kind of completely changes the whole feel, because now you come in this way and there's like a straight path either over here to the landscape or to the animal area, the livestock area, or over here to the main kind of entertaining area. The bryophyte garden, you can go up here to where the cooking is. And if I go ahead and put a retainer there, then you'll know to kind of walk around, because this is kind of uneven ground. It slopes, you know? And so if I have a wall here, you'll just know to kind of come around. And the plan is, of course, I have all this straw that I can put out in the meantime to keep the weeds down. Of course, I have all of my impatiens to use for landscaping, and I'm gonna put out the trees. I'm gonna try to clone a couple more of my favorite purple azaleas over there, and that camellia. I've got tons of ferns, so as soon as I kind of put down this camera, I'm actually gonna get on that. So I think that's it from the Ant Wife's garden for today. And I'll leave with a pretty view of all my impatiens. I think that's going to be a really nice field. So I hope you're having some happy gardening. And thank you for watching.